So with the pissing dog exercise or hip abduction lifts, we want to make this as specific to the middle splits as possible. So that's going to start with first the pelvic positioning, making sure we're in full anterior pelvic tilt. So dumping the pelvis forward. Now, we want to start off in as much end range of hip abduction as we can. And when we're doing these lifts, people tend to rock toward this stance hip. A good way to stop that is providing this counter pressure with the same side hand. So I like to turn this hand pointing toward the foot, and it kind of helps you lock into position when we're doing the lift. So something we want to focus on when we're actually performing the lift is not just lifting straight up in the air, because the goal of the middle split is to actually slide further out. So when we're lifting, we want to make sure we're actually pulling the foot away from the body and up at the same time. So it's more like this. And the lift should be very small here. This is going to ensure that we're actually at the end range of motion. So instead of that, it's like that. It's like we're hovering the foot off the ground while trying to drag it to the outside. Okay? Now, another thing we could think about is if we have one side that's a bit asymmetric from the other. So say this foot wants to turn out in the middle split, and maybe this one, the knee wants to track forward and the foot wants to turn in. We can actually bias the rotation of the femurs in this lift as we're lifting off. So say for this hip, I tend to have less internal rotation on this hip. So I want to focus on leading with the heel up. So that's going to look like this. So I'm actively turning this knee down and leading with the heel upwards. Again, trying to pull out and up. Now, it doesn't really look like much when I'm doing this, because I am limited in internal rotation, but that motion is happening. Now, compared to the other side, I have the opposite issue. So this knee usually wants to spin in. So what I'm going to do is focus on keeping this external rotation torque at the hip and think about leading with the toe. So that'll look like this. So notice I'm actively pointing the toe. Ooh, already getting a cramp there. Cramping is normal, just push through it. Spin the kneecap up. Woo! And that way we could train each side a bit differently, and we can think about actively pulling with these same muscles in the middle split. So give it a try for the prescribed reps, and the middle split should be feeling good.